Now, it's worth pointing out, obviously, the Navi, they're not humans, right? They're not mammals. They're a different species. But of course, the way how they look physically is so clear that they have been designed to get the attention of these weird kind of like people who are attracted to humanoid looking things. And James Cameron has even explicitly said,
Did you
right?
say
So
furries?
yeah, basically. Well, actually, it's not quite the same. During his interview with Playboy, he was asked, how much did you get into celebrating your movie's heroine's hotness? And he says, right from the beginning, I said she's got to have tits, even though that makes no sense because of her race. The Navi aren't placental mammals. But he basically goes on to say that in order for the film to be interesting and in order for people to care about the story, the women have to be hot.
But hold on 1 second. Hold on. But you said that he said that even though they're not placental animals, did we not see the
Correct.
childbirth? And it was giving mammalian childbirth?
Anything to make the women attractive, apparently.
So they
Apparently,
have breasts but no nipples.
I guess, at this point. They have, and what I find, like, because obviously we can laugh and joke about this, right? But there is a very serious issue here in that this is sitting on top of a history of Indigenous people and Indigenous women in particular, and women from colonized regions literally being sexualized and fetishized by colonizers. And here comes this white man making a movie, quote unquote, about anti-colonialism. And he's literally coming to tell us that I have to make these indigenous coded women attractive and give literally falsify breasts on them in order to keep the attention of my audience and so that they can actually care about the plight of these women. That's a horrific message, in my opinion. I don't care for that at all. And I'm just not impressed.
Whew. Should we talk about the perhaps, shall I say, freaky nature of some of the things that are happening in this film? How do you feel about how this film handles sexuality and attraction with the characters, especially when Navi women are involved? Avatar or not Avatar?
So in this film, obviously that mostly pertains to Varang, right? I can't really, well, there's Varang and technically, when it comes to Kiri, I just found that whole situation weird. I didn't see any chemistry between them. It was all rubbish to me. So that one doesn't really apply. What I will say with the Varang Quaritch weird scene is on the one hand, I was like, well, damn, because remember we just watched Wicked and there was zero chemistry between two, I would say, very attractive people in real life. So I'm like, how the hell is this animated film able to show me more chemistry than those two? But I'm gonna leave that one alone.
I'm so interested to see what the performance capture was like between Stephen Lang and Una Chaplin for those scenes between Courage and Varang, because both actors really, first of all, they must have chemistry tested well. But what does it mean to chemistry test well? And then to be performing with all the random dots on your face and the colored tubes. And it translates very well by the time you're rendered into giant 3D blue creatures. It's very interesting.
I think that's a sign of the very good acting from both of them as well, by the way. But yeah, so on the one hand, look, I will concede it. I saw the chemistry. It was a very tense scene. On the other hand, Varang is ultimately a priestess for her tribe, right? She's a very important woman. And Quaritch he's a colonizer. And he's the worst type of colonizer. He's literally embodying the culture he wants to colonize. He's speaking the language. And there was something that really irritated me there in that it was so easy for him to colonize her.
Remember, as the film keeps going on, he keeps on appearing more and more ethnic each time you see him.
Yeah.
Every other scene that you see him, he has added more red face paint. He's put in some liner. He's added some, animal or plant material to his outfit. He's removed more of his clothes. He's taken off the bulletproof vest and the sunglasses. And it just keeps on getting progressively more and more dramatic up to a point, a quite comical point where he walks into one of the labs, like in the human camp, and is in full, like, all the way, he's gone all the way. He's been lost to his babe's tribe. And all the white people are just looking at him like, what's going on here?
Yeah. But here's the thing though, I wasn't mad at it. I've concluded that I'm not mad at it because it is real life. It is.
Yes.
People always think about colonialism in the form of like the hardcore, trucks coming in, taking over land, killing and raping and pillaging. That is one type of colonialism. But if you think about the initial contacts, it's not uncommon to get one of these men going in and trying to find their way to seduce not only women, but also the leaders, whether it's the male leaders or whoever it is, right? And I don't know, I actually think that's quite an accurate depiction.
Yeah, it's giving Killers of the Flower Moon a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I thought it was funny. It was funny, but also true. I think something I also forgot to talk about when we're talking about spirituality and stuff is with Varang's tribe. And another reason I really enjoyed Una Chaplin's performance is, you know, the Mangkwan clan, their origin story, which gets told to us really through exposition when Quaritch is tripping, but it almost kind of works for me because Una Chaplin's performance is kind of hypnotizing, but really it is expositional. They're telling, not showing, which is a huge pity because that would have been a great opportunity to expand the world, show me what their life was like pre and post the volcanic eruption, like show it to me, like demonstrate their culture to me. Understanding why that tribe has become so cynical towards Awa and the other tribes that make up Pandora, it makes sense to me. It is true to life for what happens with real cultures in the world. And I actually kind of found it interesting. If anything, I wanted to understand it more. Unfortunately, apart from Varang, we don't get any of the rest of the Mangkwan fleshed out. We don't really get to see how she interacts with them properly or how they interact with each other. So we don't understand it. Whereas like in Way of Water, you got to meet different members of the Water clan and see how they engage with each other and the differences between their personalities. We did have that moment in the initial fight scene with the Mangkwan when she has that Valhalla Mad Max moment where she shoots an arrow into, I guess for lack of a better word, a suicide bomber who just launches himself. So you can see how devoted they are to anything she does. And that is interesting. But are the writers, are the filmmakers actually that interested in it? Or are they just trying to set up a scene where Quaritch and Varang are tripping and things get sexy as they're exchanging backstories?
Yeah, because as Cameron has mentioned, hot alien chicks, that's what sells movies apparently. And look, the man's right, apparently.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.